Well. It seems Tyler and Professor Fiction have responded to my debunk on their Maki vs. Phantom Troupe video. I wanted to start this off by first genuinely thanking Ty and Professor for taking time to react to my video. Given their size compared to my own, they could have easily pretended that my video never happened and kept it pushing. So, as I told them, I appreciate the opportunity they've given me here. It's not going to end well for either y'all, but I appreciate this nonetheless. Anyway, let's get to the video itself. Now, I saw the play that they were trying to run on me immediately. Speed me up to 2x speed while they speak normally to make my videos seem like supersonic jargon and to create a sense of authority for them. I mean, I've seen Ty debunk death battles and he plays through them at normal speed. And even in the live stream itself, where he's trying to debunk me, he specifically tries to slow me down so he could hear specifically what I'm trying to say and catch me in some sort of contradiction.
Hold on, let me just
so
hold on.
It's not even 10. I can send the calc.
Yeah, let me just regular speed this real quick because I wanna talk about something for a second.
And then goes right back to speeding me up again. It's not exactly subtle what they're trying to do here. This was clearly an intentional choice to do with my video. And then combine that with excessive pausing to break up my argument, to construe my points, along with an echo chamber of people in the voice chat and live chat to instill confidence. I get it. It fell miserably, but I get it. I get why y'all try to do it over live stream. However, the problem with using a live reaction as a debunk is that you rob yourself of the ability to create a cohesive case and truly dissect the arguments. You could be blindsided, you could be thrown off kilter and scramble to make a response that is ultimately lackluster. All of this is on full display in this live stream. There's a lot of ground to cover here, so I'm going to try to streamline this debate and really delve into the most relevant points. To help with this, I'm going to divide this into sections that you can see in the description and the video itself, so we're all on the same page and so that this whole argument and debate is easier for audiences to track. But with that being said, let's just get straight to this body bag, bro. The first major point that was made in the original video for Maki was her scaling of Mechamaru, who supposedly has a feat in the kiloton to megaton ranges. In my response, I'll show why the calc was flawed and made no sense. Let's see how Ty and friends respond to this.
You didn't show the calc you were referencing for Mechamaru, so I found it myself because 500 kilotons to several megatons is a lot more impressive than I remember the feat being even in the anime. So my eyebrows were definitely raised, and sure enough, the calc is—
Did I not show it in the description?
If I literally said that I had to go out of my way to search for the calc you use, then no, Ty, obviously you didn't put it in the description, sir.
Let's see what he says.
The methodology here to get Mechamaru to the city levels of power is by first calculating the kinetic energy of Mechamaru moving, and then multiplying that by the time frame of his charge, i.e. 1 year, to then assert that the energy of a single blast is equivalent to the accumulative energy of Mechamaru in motion over this duration of time. The obvious problem here is that this calc assumes that 1 second of curse energy charge is equivalent to the kinetic energy of Mechamaru moving, which is then multiplied by the amount of seconds in a year.
Well, we know that cursed energy is more exponential, so if anything, it'd probably be more than that.
This literally means nothing. I don't care if this is multiplicative or exponential. The fact is that 1 second of cursed energy charge being equal to the kinetic energy of Mechamaru moving is an unfounded, baseless assumption. You have to actually prove this assumption holds water before we could talk about applying an exponential increase to the calc instead of simply multiplying it by the number of seconds in a year. You have to actually prove this methodology holds water before you could then pivot and argue different ways you could highball the end result.
This is completely unsubstantiated and it's just blatant headcanon.
That's,
I guess.
Well, cursed energy.
Okay,
amplified
that's kind of like a weird thing to assert because there are like so many things that like we don't know the nitty gritty or the fine details of how X power works. I guess if you want to disregard the calc, Ty already said that the town level stuff is the baseline anyway, so I don't really understand like what the point of this is.
Bro, do you see these boys scrambling? Like, what do you mean you don't see what the point of this is? You literally scale Maki beyond megaton level power. This is by far the best feat and chain of scaling presented for Maki in the video.
It's fairly consistent with the manga too, as weaker characters like Charged Mechamaru, Mechamaru's 1-year charge coming out to around over 500 kilotons, and the 2 to 5 year charge ranging into the few megatons of TNT.
Addressing it and seeing if it actually holds up under scrutiny, which it absolutely does not, is very relevant. This feat being in play is literally the difference between Maki being city level and only town level. How could you possibly pretend like this is pointless? Like, what?
And that's not even getting to the fact that this calc is upscaling an explicitly heat-based attack based off the accumulation of kinetic energy, and assuming these things are exactly 1-to-1.
They should be 1-to-1 because characters like Mahito are a much weaker version of Mahito is not only able to withstand that, but then Mahito gets exponentially stronger just to be weaker than a Yuji that's going relative with Maki.
I must be going crazy. You're saying that Mechamaru's accumulated kinetic energy and the potency of a heat-based attack should be 1-to-1 because Maki scales above Mahito? What? See what I mean? They're just all over the place, bro. Like, come on. What are we talking about?
This makes zero sense, and without this fraudulent method of calcing, you are left with visually lackluster feat for Mechamaru. Also note that this is how the manga version of this feat is also quantified, so it's equally
No, but look at the numbers that you just showed.
What the hell do you mean no? The manga and anime versions of the feat are calced using the exact same methodology. This is a fact. Both are using Mechamaru's kinetic energy, assuming it is the same as a second's worth of curse energy, and multiplying the kinetic energy by the amount of seconds in a year. This is literally in the screenshots I'm showing you. But look at the number you just showed. Yeah, the feat is less impressive in the manga, but the calc methodology and the equations are the same, which is what I was saying.
It's not the exact same thing. It's not at all. So
the thing is, he's trying to say that the calc, I think he's trying to say that the calc, he doesn't want to use the calc.
And it's crazy because you need your homeboy to break down this very simple point for you, and you're meant to be debunking me. You don't understand what's even being said. What? Oh my god, next point.
And without this, all you have going for Maki is the lackluster single-digit kiloton feat I already mentioned. This is literally weaker than the small town level explosion from the Caribbean Beetle, which, mind you, the Caribbean Beetle ignored despite
Whoa!
from its lower end.
Stop. Hold on. What is the Jogo calc?
That's in like the low megatons.
Yeah,
high.
I want to look at Versus Wiki real quick, because I think they are town level by this point, or at least like EOS characters, like the heavy hitters.
Maki should be physically stronger than like Sendai Yuta. Yuta's blocking Ryu's blast. Ryu is already in those kiloton ranges.
Let me see. Okay, this is the wrong thing. But I'm almost positive they're town level without this.
So they just gave up on the Mechamaru feat entirely. The debunk they provided was tied just not understanding how calcs work, saying Mahito being weaker than Maki is proof that kinetic energy is 1-to-1 with heat attacks, when that is just scientifically false. And now just running away to new feats and scaling not even mentioned in the original video. But I'm getting debunked. Right. Anyway, I never refuted Maki being town level, so bringing up Jogo scaling just to put Maki at town level, which I literally say I agree with in my original video, the first feat he brings up from the recent episode and where he places it, that is agreeable. You can have town level Maki, fine, but this lightning speed quad Mach Maki needs to be retired. It's been debunked. It's pointless and a waste of time. My main priority was tearing apart the megaton city level scaling, which I've done and none of you have any answers for.
So if anyone is to have the quote-unquote massive advantage here, it is the Phantom Troupe.
Many characters in Hunter x Hunter
with the low ball, but let's talk about the bro, we literally mentioned that fiction. We literally say with the lower ends, the Phantom Trooper, like, you could be able to argue it.
Yeah, they might be a little stronger, but like that's the thing is like,
and it doesn't matter either because of Soul Split.
The point of that was like, okay, here's the high end for the, like, he's basically taking the high end for the Troupe and the low end for Maki.
Not at all, sir. I quite literally did the opposite. For the Troupe, I used the same scaling feats you use in the video. I did not use the high end for the Troupe. You yourself said the high end for the Troupe was scaling off Yuppie.
Yuppie's absolute strongest move has been calculated to around 400 kilotons of TNT, meaning the max you could reasonably say about the Troupe is maybe around the 40 kiloton range. at the absolute most.
Which I think is silly and I never did. So what high ends am I using? I'm literally using the exact same scaling you used in your Hunter x Hunter videos. And the low end for Maki is insane when I started my video off addressing the highest end for Maki, the city level scaling, and putting that all in the dirt. Literally the only other feat you guys showed for Maki in the video was the single digit kiloton feat from the anime. So of course that's what I'm going off of. You have two main feats. I debunked the first one and agreed with the second. Sue me.
Okay, like you have an issue with the anime version of the calc. I guess that's fine. But then like you also brought up the manga version, which is way above the.
No, he's
the
saying he doesn't like
calc.
how they're calcing it. I think he's saying he doesn't like how they're calcing it.
I guess
but
that's
she doesn't
fine.
need.
I don't know who this is, but give this man a promotion and let him run the debunks from here on out. Because I can't count the amount of times he had to re-explain pretty basic arguments to you both. And this is not the last time he does this.
She doesn't need that calc to get to Large Town.
I say
Irame's
Zetty
large,
Clan
like,
Massacre.
her-
Maki
Irame's
still loses.
300
The Maki,
kilotons,
the
like,
Maki
without
we're
max
using. The Maki.
We're not even that far into this stream and already Ty and friends have abandoned the feats and scaling shown in the original video and have just started spitballing entirely new feats. How could you possibly say you are debunking my debunk to your video when you are being forced to make completely new arguments and scaling chains for Maki and have given up defending the points made in your original video? But also this scaling sucks too. Explain it to me like I'm 5, how you intend to scale the energy of a flash freeze attack to a physical strike from Maki. Please.
He's still. He's also
attacked him.
2.9 kilotons just from Jogo's like normal attacks.
Wow, a whole kiloton above Maki's anime feed. Game-changing stuff. Anyway, this is still relative to, if not weaker than the Caribbean Beetle explosion. The Beetle himself ignored this, and the Troupe scale way higher above the Beetle than Maki does to Jogo.
The thing is, they were does it will either seem are able to.
Oh, you're just playing my video.
And what exactly are you doing right now? God forbid I play clips of the video I'm debunking in a debunked video? Like what? And if I didn't do that, you would complain and moan that I took you out of context. Come on.
First off, mark 1 to 5 troop members in the big 2026. Like,
Bro,
I mean,
said that for a lower end.
How could someone be so loud and wrong? This is what Professor said.
with that, we can comfortably scale each member of the Phantom Troop in the Mach 1 to 5 range pretty consistently, maybe a little bit higher depending on how easily you think Uvogan reacted to that bullet.
The Troupe is Mach 1 to 5 consistently, maybe a little higher. That's what he said verbatim. But he said that for a lower end. Like you're literally just lying to your audience.
faster than Railroad could perceive and sees these aforementioned near
This is
hypersonic
a-
whips in slow motion.
This was
at
a
a
lot of
standstill.
yap.
So Heaven's Arena Killer will
I'm
literally
gonna
see
be real.
Yap is not an argument. I mean, how on God's green earth do you have the audacity to claim you are debunking me in this video?
I guess most of this is fine. My only thing is like, there's not like insane speed gaps in the Hunter x Hunter verse. Like saying, oh, Nenless Killua can do that.
No insane speed gas. What in the hell are you talking about? Are you trying to tell me that there isn't an insane speed gap between Nenless, Hunter Exam Killua, and the freaking Phantom Troop? I can't believe I have to explain this to you, the Hunter x Hunter scaler, the Hunter x Hunter professor himself. Like, what? Where do I begin? We could go to the auction where Gon and Killua meet eyes with Phaeton and Finks and they immediately sprint away from the scene, only to then be intercepted by Finks and Phaeton from behind. Finks and Phaeton were able to intercept them despite giving them a massive head start as they were literally seated as Gon and Killua sprinted away, and they moved faster than Gon and Killua could perceive to boot casually. Or we could use Phaeton blitzing Gon when he got angry. Killua tries to interfere, but before he could even cover a few inches of distance, Ahsoka blitzes behind him from a notable distance away, holding a card to his neck. Casual feat for Ahsoka. Even Gon and Killua as a team are no match for even a single troop member by Killua's own admission. I mean, this argument is just silly. If beginning of series Killua is supersonic, which he is, which you didn't refute, and which you agreed to, the troop should be nowhere near that.
I said they're like
hypersonic attacks in slow
upwards of
motion,
Mach
but that's
5.
only the beginning.
With that, we can comfortably scale each member of the Phantom Troop in the Mach 1 to 5 range pretty consistently, maybe a little bit higher depending on how easily you think Uvogan reacted to that bullet.
We know what you said, sir.
Is consistent with the anime depiction as well. We also know that Gon
All
will
right,
have to
I
take
know
the time
this.
intervals
I
to
know
build-
this feat. I used this feat to scale the Phantom Troop in my original, like a long time ago, Toji versus the Phantom Troop. The problem is that this is a mental antigone. And so, like, if you're saying that there are like noticeable speed gaps in Hunter x Hunter, you literally could not possibly scale any of the Phantom Troop to this speed.
Mental am gone. What in the world is this dude talking about? Fiction, fiction, fiction. I'll cash up you $100 if you could tell me where it is stated, shown, remotely implied that Gon's speed was amped in his fight with Genthru. You already missed your opportunity to the $50, so lock in this time for real. Show me something that substantiates this claim of Gon getting arbitrarily faster in his fight with Genthru. Please. Because we know for a fact that Gon and Killua were equals in speed in Greed Island and definitely in Chimera Ant Arc, and we know that the Phantom Troop for sure scales to the speed of base Killua. You have to be arguing that the Gon and the Genthru fight is faster than base form Killua in Chimera Ant Arc and the Succession Arc to argue that none of the Phantom Troop scales to the speed feat from Gon. Like, this doesn't make a lick of damn sense. What in the world?
Do they not scale to this Gon?
Some of them might. Gon's mental amps are like ridiculously inconsistent. Gon goes from like weaker than no Nen Chimera ants to physically stronger than Hisoka during the Greed Island arc, strictly because of mental amps. It's absurd.
Bro, what are you referring to the Razor fight? Like, what is that the amp you're referring? Because that's the only amp Gon gets in Greed Island. And we are shown there that Gon is amassing Nen and amping his power to be concentrated into his fist for the Jajankin attack. This example you are citing has nothing to do with speed explicitly, and that is the only amp we are shown of Gon on Greed Island. As I said, the Chimera Ant Arc mental amps are obviously irrelevant here since the catalyst was Kai's death. You can't just keep saying things without any evidence to back it up, sir. Come on, dog.
Do you think they could beat this guy, like that he's fighting?
Probably. This, like, that's the thing, is like this fight is weird too because Gon's mental amped the entire time, so figuring out exactly how strong Genthru is weird. Like, you can assert like an upper limit for people like obviously Hisoka and Crollo.
You're questioning if the troop members can beat Genthru unironically. Bro, that's how far you're willing to go to try to save face? Probably. This is embarrassing. You literally have a top 20 video ranking Hunter x Hunter characters, and Genthru doesn't even make the damn list. Like, what do you mean it's hard, it's nebulous, and hard to scale Genthru compared to the troop? You know damn well that the troop stomps Genthru. Come on. What are we talking about? It's not just Ahsoka and Crollo. You don't believe this shit you are saying. You quite literally rank almost every relevant troop member over Genthru in your video. Come on, we all know you're just chatting.
Outspeeded as in the middle of expansion.
Bro, Hisoka, like, what Phantom Troop members are like throwing hands with him at all?
Bro, is Ahsoka not part of the damn troop? Even if you believe Ahsoka is the strongest of the troop, his feats are still worth talking about because he's involved in this battle. Like, what? But also I hope you realize that this feat from Ahsoka is from Ahsoka fighting against another troop member. So what are you talking about?
Okay, well,
but
then,
I mean,
Mach kind of,
yeah,
I guess.
But like, even in the video, like, Fiction was giving a lower, like, like, he wasn't saying that was exactly the, like, once again, I feel like this is just like, this is so fucking semantical.
Once again, you're just chatting nonsense. I'm not going to let you backtrack and gaslight the people. We have seen your original video. Professor Fiction verbatim said the troop was Mach 1 to 5 consistently. Heck, Mach 1 to 5 were the only numbers Fiction assigned to the troop. He proposed scaling to Pizzo, but also said that was a highball. Those are literally the only two speed arguments made for the troop. Why in the hell are you trying to antagonize me for going off of the only arguments Fiction made in the damn video? It's okay to just be wrong, bro. It's okay to just be wrong. It's okay to be proven wrong and to acknowledge that remotely mentioning Mach 1 to 5 in the same sentence as the troop speed is just asinine. It's okay, but you don't have to try to demonize me for going off of what Fiction was saying.
Like, it would be one thing. It would be one thing if I said the troop are, if the troop are Mach 5, and in reality they're like Mach, like 100 to 300 plus. You know, like, then it would be a little different.
You guys are allergic to admitting you're wrong. It's crazy. If the Troupe is Mach 100, Mach 5 is wrong. If the Troupe is Mach 50, Mach 5 is wrong. If the Troupe is only Mach 20, guess what? Mach 5 is still wrong. That is literally a 4 times difference. You're trying to save face by saying, well, that wasn't that wrong, but you were wrong nonetheless, as I proved. Again, you lot are meant to be debunking me, and so far we've seen concession after concession and excuse after excuse. And by the way, as I literally showed, the Troupe are well over Mach 20. So even by what you're saying, well, it wasn't that wrong, yes, you were indeed that wrong. They scale well over Mach 45 feet.
A fraction
To
of
be
a fraction
fair,
of that distance.
I
Moving so
don't
fast, he's
think
disappearing
anyone
in the
scales
same
to
frame that we
T2
see a bullet moving in
in terms of
intense
speed,
slow
aside
motion.
from, like,
This easily
maybe
puts Chi-Tu
Maryland.
in math.
Then why on God's green earth did you start off showing Chi-Tu's speed feats when arguing for the Troupe? What? What? This is backtracking. This is like that's what I'm saying, bro. This is premium backtracking.
Like as an example, Morel and Knuckle are able to keep pace with the Royal Guards, but they can't keep pace with Chi-Tu.
You be fighting Morel and Knuckle is irrelevant for the Troupe scaling to Chi-Tu. I already showed how they scale to Chi-Tu in my original video. Just in case we've forgotten where Chi-Tu fits into all of the scaling, we've seen the likes of Silva one-shot Chi-Tu. Though Chi-Tu wasn't paying attention at first, this doesn't matter as it is explicitly stated that Chi-Tu would have been tagged and killed whether he was looking up or not. Keep in mind that Silva and Zeno are blatant inferiors to Crollo. So even just going off of your arguments, the relevant Troupe members should be several times the speeds you've cited bare minimum. Really needed preparation to deal with an attack that she thought was only the speed of sound.
Don't
Here we
disagree.
go.
However, we're talking about, both the anime and manga.
Ty's argument here is literally, yeah, JJK based off the manga is pretty slow, but I'm using the anime and manga, so I'm going to ignore the manga completely. Like, you can't make this shit up. If you are using the anime and manga, with the manga being the primary canon, you can't just brush the Naoya fight off.
Okay.
Well, okay. First of all, my main problem with statements like these is that, well, first of all, the writer, frankly, doesn't know how fast sound is. Just straight up, he doesn't. And he's not a power scaler either. And there are so many statements like these where, like, you will see Superman, like, the whole point of the scene is like, oh my god, I can barely lift a planet, bro! And he has to get, like, Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter to pull it with him, bro. And then, like, in the next scene, they'll be like, yeah, this same guy can fight Darkseid in the same comic. Like, the inconsistency with statements like these are a dime a dozen. It happens all the time. And it even happened in JJK. He might go more in depth with the Mach 3 merchant thing, but there's like a whole thing with Naoya and Choso that really bothers me that I'll mention later.
Okay, so this is the part of the video that I was told was the best part argumentation wise. And sure enough, it's not from either Ty or Fiction, but from this third party they brought on. Hilarious. Okay, let's break this down. The author not being what you consider a power scaler does not invalidate where he places his own characters in his own story. The narration box is telling you this character moved at Mach 3. This means it is immutable and irrefutable fact that Naoya blitzed Maki at Mach 3 in the story. This is not adjustable or changeable. It's a fact of the story, much the same way as the narration describing events in the Chimera Ant arc were just facts. You can't debate narration. You can't sit here and tell me that the narration is wrong. Also, the comic comparison is just intuitively flawed. Comic characters like Superman are notoriously inconsistent because they have multiple writers. There is hardly a definitive word is God, word is law when it comes to Superman because each run comes with a different interpretation of his power and is standing in the verse. So there is room to scrutinize one writer placing Superman as supersonic when multiple other writers place him far faster than light. In contrast, Gege is the sole author of JJK. If he pens these characters at Mach 3 and below, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Okay, so Kenjaku, dodging Piercing Blood, is Mach 4.6. And he was afraid of Maki, so even if you think he's faster, it's not by like some absurd amount.
Why would you think this is some kind of like got you moment for me? Maki herself has feats you could argue above Mach 3. The point here is that this Naoya feat is explicit and clear about her being under Mach 3, so these calcs just aren't accurate to her intended and written level of power. If you are arguing Kenjaku is narratively the same speed as Maki, this would transfer over. If something has to give, it would be fan calcs, not the narration itself telling you how fast the characters are.
I won't lie. I don't know how much this would. I don't know how much this really applies to the Phantom Troupe. But later in the Succession War arc, Kurapika does act like a 50 cal is kind of a big deal. So no, not even a 50 cal. I don't remember what it was. He acts like a gun, like a certain gun is like kind of a big deal, and he would need to defend himself because dodging isn't that easy.
Professor out here capping on these streets again, sir. Anyway, this is what he's talking about. Kurapika says that Gyo would not be enough to fully protect against a 9mm bullet. Literally all this means is that Kurapika is not quite bulletproof, even with Nen defenses. I don't see what this has to do with speed. Kurapika isn't questioning his ability to react to bullets. I mean, the fact that he is literally talking about the effectiveness of using Gyo to defend the bullet, if anything, shows that he is confident that he can react to the bullet. And that confidence is well placed considering he's done that exact thing before.
He is right. He is right. There is a difference because Netero's statement doesn't outright have a cap. The point was, if you want to like say this like narrative stuff for JJK, then you can say this narrative stuff for Hunter.
So you are literally admitting I'm right and admitting that one is a speed cap and the other is not a speed cap, and yet you want me to treat both of them as speed caps or neither of them as speed caps. I mean, what kind of argument is this? You are admitting that they are not the same while simultaneously demanding that I treat them the same? Like, what are we doing here, bro?
When the narrator's saying Netero left sound in his wake, that doesn't really mean a lot if sound isn't impressive. Sound needs to be impressive for that feat to be impressive.
More disingenuous arguing. Okay. The three common phenomena writers use to emphasize speed are sound, lightning, and light. Netero wasn't faster than light, he wasn't faster than lightning. So guess what Togashi used to put his speed in perspective? As you said, this is not a speed cap, so I really don't see the basis of comparing this with the Maki instance. Simply just referencing sound is not an anti-feat. It means nothing for the speed or the intended speed of the verse.
Personally, cash app you $50 if you could explain to me how Chrollo and Ahsoka are intended by the narrative to be slower than Netero in training before he returns to the dojo.
Don't think fiction ever even said that.
I wasn't. Yeah, like I said, not the point, man. It was more so just about the narrative stuff.
If fiction doesn't believe that the subsonic pre-prime Netero in training scales in any way, shape, or form to the likes of Chrollo and Ahsoka or any relevant troop member, this is a meaningless argument, because the whole point with Maki is that we know in no uncertain terms how she compares to a Mach 3 character. She is slower, a lot slower. If you can't even articulate how Netero being subsonic at one point in his life translates to the troop speed, then this doesn't matter. This comparison makes no sense.
Why is he so mean?
Is he missing the fact that now
Yeah, I know,
explicitly
like-
stated?
Shit, how am I being mean? I'm literally offering to pay you if you prove me wrong. Like, come on, dog. Trolling aside, I've seen live streams of both of you having demeaning and condescending tones when debating, be it against viewers or death battle, etc. Heck, in this very video where you're responding to me, you've mocked me several times, you try to clown my word choice. I mean, come on. Like, I was very intentional in not taking personal shots, like calling you stupid, dumb, a bozo, etc. And I show love to both of you in the video itself, in the comments. Hell, I even show love on this horrible ass live stream debunk, because it seemed like feelings were hurt, which I did not intend. Like, come on, dog. Don't attack my character like this.
This is meaningless as an anti-feat.
Bro, we're not using it as an
anti-feat.
anti-feed, bro. Jesus
I
Christ.
shouldn't even have to.
Saying that they're hyping
We're
up
saying
being faster than sound.
Literally
the same
both
way.
verse. Yeah, bro,
Wait,
that's
they're
the
having
whole
lackluster
fucking point
travel
of bringing
speed.
it up.
That is an anti-feat. Using Bono Leno's statement to argue Hunter x Hunter may not be that fast because sound is hyped up is arguing it as an anti-feat by definition. You are arguing that Bono Leno hyping up sound would contradict Hunter x Hunter's normal speed scaling if you were to take it seriously. So you are using it as an anti-feat. If you aren't using this as an anti-feat, as in you are not arguing that this contradicts Hunter x Hunter being as fast as I'm arguing, then why are you bringing this up in the first place? Because the entire point point is that Maki's feat does contradict your JJK speed metas. So what are we talking about here? Like what? This, like I said, this comparison is dumb and you guys aren't even willing to stand on it. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too. It doesn't make no damn sense.
Every relevant Troupe member scales over, failing to outrun sound. So what? How is that a cap on the failing
What?
speed?
No. But didn't he just say like Nenless freaking Killua would be above
like
that?
Yes, Nenless Killua is supersonic, but its sustained travel speed is not supersonic. We see this in the opening stages of the Hunter exam. These characters are not running at supersonic here, but Killua has supersonic feats in combat. I've shown this, yes. What is your point here? The Fodder Chimera Ant is incapable of outrunning sound, so the only takeaway from this instance is that the travel speed of this Fodder Chimera Ant is subsonic. What is the contradiction with this and Killua having supersonic combat speed?
The effort in this video shows because you're talking about Leo, but you're showing a scan of P2 and Gon? What? Anyway, to be more specific, he's obviously talking about Leo's harpoon being thrown at sonic speed.
I asked for fiction for the scan, bro. He didn't give it to me, bro. I'm trying to rush the video out, bro.
Hey,
My bad,
that,
man.
that might be a boo-boo on my part.
My bad,
That might
yeah.
be a boo-boo on my part.
My bad, bro. I will say, though, I don't really... Respectfully speaking, bro, like, he's trying to be, like, at the beginning of the... Like, especially, like, in the... Like, right here, like, he's like, oh, yeah, no disrespect to either creator personally, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's
That was
like,
kind of a personal attack.
If saying you didn't put much effort into a YouTube video is a personal attack, then sue me, brother. Like, come on, dog. What are we doing here?
Oh,
So
yeah, okay.
he basically said that the guy, like Bonolenov or whatever, is like hyping up speed of sound, and he's like, oh well, it doesn't necessarily debunk that the Troupe is faster, which I guess is true. But I thought his argument initially was that even like Nenless Killua was faster than sound.
Nenless Killua has supersonic feats in combat speed. Bonolenov is hyping up that sound can't be outrun by the Fodder Chimera Ant. Travel speed. This is not rocket science. My argument for Killua was supersonic combat speed. This instance shows subsonic travel speed. We know combat speed and travel speed are different things. Where's the confusion? What's the contradiction?
Because in this case, Bonolenov, as a character, doesn't really have any feats outside of this. And it kind of makes it look bad because Bonolenov thinks he would be able to fight alongside other Troupe members, but his strongest attack is only the speed of sound.
Fighting alongside other Troupe members does not imply they're relative in power. We've seen Paku Noda fight alongside the likes of Phaeton and Finks. What are you talking about? As you literally said, we have not seen much of Bonolenov at all. Him using one Hatsu ability against a Fodder Chimera Ant literally means nothing for the rest of the Troupe. You also have to think about the mechanics of Bonolenov's ability here. Jupiter is seemingly only avoidable by outrunning sound, meaning you need supersonic travel speed to escape its effects. The point I'm trying to hammer home here is that Bonolenov's Jupiter only scales to travel speed. It is not relevant to combat speed. Who cares if you could throw a punch dozens of times faster than sound, you would still be affected by Jupiter without the travel speed to match. And as we know, combat speed and travel speed are different things and rarely match up in fiction. So in all cylinders, this is irrelevant to the Troupe scaling. You are trying your hardest to compare this to the Maki instance, but it makes no sense.
Which implies that it wouldn't have been effective otherwise. So this whole argument is just dumb.
What? No? What?
What? Yes. He quite literally only plans on using this attack after he first immobilizes Morel. If Sonic Speed was capable of blitzing Morel outright, this would not be necessary and he would just do this from the outset. The prerequisite of literally stopping Morel from moving before throwing your attack implies it wouldn't land otherwise. What is hard to understand here?
And I also saw this, like, for example, because this was something that you also applied in another video that you did with your Aang versus Gon video. You were saying basically Avatar characters can't react to lightning because of Aang using seismic sense, which is slower, which is like subsonic, supersonic. Like, what? Like, that's like them like applying an ability or like a character that's like just so happens to be much faster using something that allows them to use precog. That wouldn't like inherently disregard the feat that they're performing.
Wait, hold on. So Thor uses lightning, so he's only ever as fast as lightning, right?
That's just not what I said. I didn't even want to include this part because, as I said, I wanted to keep this streamlined and focused, but you are just so blatantly wrong. I'll cash up you. Matter of fact, name your price. If you can show me the clip where I said the seismic sense is subsonic to supersonic in that Aang versus Gon video, I'll cash up you whatever you want. Keep that in mind. Each and every time these vibrations are shown traveling through the ground and to Toph, and without any shown exception, their travel speed massively outspeeds everyone else, borderline statuing them, moving notably faster. For reference, even the fastest vibrations move through rock and earth at a mere Mach 23. And that Thor argument is stupid. Thor's lightning is not always natural, and it literally has speed feats above normal lightning speed. Well above it. That comparison makes no sense.
Feats are inconsistent. Writers don't think out how like they want to do stuff like that.
This is just not an argument. Feats are inconsistent. No, duh. The Maki Mach 3 statement is not consistent with the faster feats in the verse. That's the entire point of this discussion. It is meaningless to say feats are inconsistent because that's mutually understood. Your job is to argue to me why I should ignore the narration and what the story is telling me in favor of fan calcs. Your job is to reconcile how Mach 3, which Naoya blitzed Maki at and is established to destroy the body normally, is actually irrelevant to Maki, who in reality is hundreds of times faster than sound supposedly. That's your job.
This with precog. This is not speed based. This argument doesn't.
Oh my god, it applies to her combat and reaction. She uses it in combat. Why does it apply?
It applies to her combat and reactions. No, it does not. How are you literally getting louder and more wrong? Precog does not amp your physical movement speed. I thought this would be obvious, but clearly I have to spoon feed this to you. What is precog? Seeing attacks in advance, which is used to accordingly move in advance before a task can fully land. Nothing about this process is changing how fast you could physically move. It is just adjusting the window of time you have to react to attacks that you otherwise could not react to. Maki is relying on precog to compensate for her lack of speed compared to Naoya. So the argument that Maki's speed is actually being boosted here doesn't make any sense intuitively.
The precog is like sensing the air or whatever. She's not Matt Murdock. Like she doesn't have like super mega precog. It's like
it's not like fucking Katakuri and Luffy where they're closing their eyes and seeing like a few seconds into the fucking future.
It's precog. The argument that Maki's precog isn't as good as his other precog ability in fiction, it doesn't matter. It's still precog. By definition, precog does not amp your speed, and relying on precog to deal with a faster opponent does not mean your raw physical speed is on the same level. Maki not having a future sight does not change that she has precog, which she is explicitly using to foresee Naoya's next move in advance during their fights. What in the world are you arguing?
To be clear, I don't think you guys are saying that he just like what's it called, doesn't dodge. I think
we
you guys
never said that. No one
underestimates
said that. We never said that. Well, yeah, he likes to.
I think you guys are trying to say he underestimates his opponents.
But we didn't even say that either.
Bro, what do you mean you didn't say Uvoken would underestimate Maki? Play the damn clip.
For the Phantom Troupe is that many of the members are more prone to taking things head on. Uvoken, for example, probably seeing this girl wielding a sword is just going to think that he can block it just to get both his arms chopped off.
He would see a girl holding a sword and think he could block it just to get cut by a soul-splitting katana. That is literally Uvoken underestimating Maki in that scenario. You're just rewriting history and pretending you didn't say what you said.
So my point more so was like, okay, Uvoken he wouldn't necessarily be underestimating her, I guess, but would be maybe not expecting a sword that can cut through him because his whole thing is he has the indestructible body. Kurapika's chain, he's not worried that the chain's gonna swing and like blast through him. He's worried because the chain was able to restrain him and neutralize his strength by putting him into Zetsu. He probably wouldn't be expecting Maki's sword to be like that. And if he gets cocky, which he does sometimes, he literally like stood in front of a super bazooka and held out his hand like he was Broly. If he gets a little cocky, he might just be like, all right, I'm going to block it. She's coming in for a swing. I'm going to block it and get his arm lobbed off.
The bazooka instance was nameless fodder telling Uvoken their bazooka could destroy a tank, and Uvoken knowing that tank busting power wouldn't mean much to him, which was proven right. I don't see how that translates to Uvoken fighting against an opponent that, in this scenario, warrants the attention of the entire troupe and just carelessly thinking he would just brute force through Maki's attacks without any knowledge. And you just now said Uvoken wouldn't underestimate Maki, so yes, he would just dodge Maki's attacks. But regardless, bro, this argument doesn't even matter to much. I've already established Maki is way too slow, so 10 times out of 10, Vulcan blitzes and batters Maki before she even has a chance to attack him.
It only uses his bungee gum to block concussive attacks such as Razor's Volley or Goto's coins, which can then be used to not just catch them, but rebound them and fire them back.
Okay, so if Maki comes at him with the fucking soul split katana, what do you think Hisoka's gonna fucking do? Try to block it with his bungee gum!
I'm at a loss for words. You literally watched me break down for you that Hisoka only uses bungee gum to defend against concussive attacks and has never used bungee gum to defend against bladed attacks because that's not what bungee gum is designed to defend against fundamentally. Rubber and gum can smother blunt pressure but can be cut by blades. Same principle here. What the fuck is he gonna do if Maki comes at him with Soul Split Katana? Dodge? Like he's done every other bladed attack that's come his way? Like, what are you talking about?
Like, what?
Well, no, he's saying it's blunt force, and he's gonna be like, oh, sword cut rubber, so he wouldn't do that. He would just run away, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not a normal, it's not a conventional blade.
Bro, whoever this dude is should be running this damn channel. He is the MVP of this entire stream. Maki's attack not being a conventional blade doesn't matter. Hisoka would see Maki has a sword and opt to dodge her slashes because bungee gum is only used to defend against concussive attacks.
It's a weird response because the alternative for Hisoka is just like
Die.
No, the alternative is to just dodge Maki's strike? Y'all just be saying anything, bro.
characters in Hunter x Hunter, namely like Nobunaga. Nobunaga, his whole point is he's the sword guy in the Phantom Troupe. Guidebook says he's like the most skilled weapons user in the Phantom Troupe. There's something along those lines. He calls Hisoka, he's like, his ability is very troublesome. Why would he say that? Why would he say that if he didn't think bungee gum was good against swords? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Just because bungee gum can't form a shield to block sword strikes doesn't mean it can't still be troublesome against a swordsman. Bungee gum can be used to disarm people. It can be used to incapacitate people. It can boost Hisoka's speed and mobility. It can be used to set up Hisoka's own piercing attacks. It can literally ragdoll people every which way. I mean, what even is this argument? Of course, bungee gum has more utility to it than just being able to block a sword attack. It can still be troublesome to a swordsman without having to be able to literally create a fucking magical shield to defend against sword attacks. This is dumb. Next point.
He doesn't use bungee gum to deflect, he tries to dodge. Whoa. Okay. You got me, man.
Oh, wait, I mean, that's not really a win condition.
Whoa, man.
At least you guys are finally starting to understand how Hisoka actually fights. Point by point, but we're getting there. But yeah, Hisoka would dodge Maki's attacks, and Maki, being as slow as she is, would not land anything on Hisoka, precog or not.
It's strong?
You showed me Hisoka dodging some rinky-dink fodder, bro.
Okay,
I'm showing that Hisoka will dodge bladed attacks, and that he wouldn't and didn't just use bungee gum to deflect it like fiction is arguing. I brought evidence for my claim. Neither you or Professor can do the same in arguing Hisoka would make a bungee gum shield to block a cutting attack, which has never happened in the entirety of the damn series.
I was gonna say, okay, he's like, Hisoka's gonna get bungee gum on her sword and pull it away, right? Okay, right.
Yeah.
That sounds smart. Now, what exactly is Hisoka gonna get bungee gum on her sword? Right? He's gonna connect bungee gum to it. It's almost like that's what I said.
That's just not what you said. You didn't argue Hisoka would merely connect bungee gum to Maki's sword. Play the damn clip.
I think Hisoka does a lot in combat is use his bungee gum to catch his enemies' weapons or fists to stop them from reaching him, and then they're trapped in his bungee gum. While this is really good and many powerful and skilled weapon users like Nobunaga thinks it's a very powerful ability, Soul Split Katana just cuts through everything. It doesn't matter how tough or the material, Soul Split Katana just cuts through it. Meaning if Hisoka tries to block Soul Split Katana with bungee gum, it's gonna cut through his bungee gum and proceed to cut Hisoka as well.
Why are you just routinely lying? Like, why we have you on record saying the opposite of what you're saying right now? You didn't say any of that shit.
16-tonner, 64-tonner level strength is just beyond casual for relevant Hunter x Hunter characters. Hisoka would easily overpower Maki when it comes to
16 tons.
So, like,
what lifting feats does Maki have for you to be talking crazy like this? You didn't even provide any feats for Maki to show she's stronger. You just said, whoa, 16 tons, and then kept it pushing. Calling this a debunk is comically delusional. You're not making an argument.
So this completely different group of characters with completely different abilities, jumping Maki, they would also fail. Like what?
Well,
This
they would
doesn't
all,
even make
if
internal
we're
sense.
asserting they're all weaker and slower, then it
Bro,
wouldn't
I'm
really-
literally fucking bringing it up in comparison because the episode just fucking dropped, which is what I said in the fucking beginning of the video is the whole point of it. Like,
Do these people not fucking know we could see the original video? You brought up Maki versus the Zenin clan to show how the Troupe jumping Maki wouldn't matter. Play the clip.
with that being said, if the group were to all try and jump at her, I don't see why this really makes a difference. We already saw what happened when a relative group of people tried jumping Maki, who, mind you, are all significantly inferior to her.
I feel like y'all just frustrated you've been debunked and just creating excuses that you actually didn't argue what you really did argue in the original video.
Also,
You're-
like
now
are
you
gonna act like-
now I'm being called disingenuous, right? But you're literally like taking shit out of fucking context to try and make me look bad.
Out of context. Out of context. Out of context. No, I don't give a fuck. Play the damn clip again.
With that being said, if the group were to all try and jump at her, I don't see why this really makes a difference. We already saw what happened when a relative group of people tried jumping Maki, who, mind you, are all significantly inferior to her.
What about this is out of context? You are literally saying the Troupe jumping Maki would not matter because of the Maki and Zenin clan fight. This is what you said. Don't get mad at me because you said something stupid.
And also say the Troupe are stronger than the Zenin clan.
Not
Bro,
my
no. Okay, bro. My bad. I'm
just making fun of
sorry.
the fandom Troupe here and saying they are trash.
we
and they're
agree.
just as bad as
There we go. Happy days. You see how easy that is? It's okay. Just admit you wrong. Leave with that. Don't accuse me of doing something like pulling you out of context. I don't need to do that to debunk you. I don't need to do all this slide shit. I'm backing you up, bringing all these people to support me, hype me up, having a live chat to feed me arguments. I could play what you said at normal speed and still tell you apart. I don't need to pull anything out of context, sir. Come on, dog.
Way more raw strength than Maki. Machi.
Oh, Machi has more raw strength than Maki?
Higher?
I think
Hold on,
he's
let him
like
cook.
scaling her lifting strength and saying she
Let
wasn't
him cook,
able
let
to
him
break
cook.
the
Killer one
punching.
strength who would already have casual her. Heck, mine. There's literally nothing stopping Ahsoka from
You can't make this shit up. Ty still doesn't have a single 1600 feet from Maki, nor anything close. He just says more straight than Maki and moves on. And not only does he move on, but he literally skips my explanation even after his friend told him to let me cook. Ain't that some shit?
malicious Nen, which explicitly destroys the mind. Ahsoka flexing his malicious Nen to Gon and
Yeah,
kill
this
Heaven's Arena.
is just wrong.
Okay, well, first of all, she's not afraid of Sukuna, who also is basically the same thing, so this wouldn't work.
You people have to provide feats and evidence for your claims. When has Maki resisted a mental attack from Sukuna? What mental attacks does Sukuna even have, bro?
But the thing is that down the line, we have hunters fighting chimera ants that don't have Nen, and they, they're pretty malicious.
They don't just Nen crush them.
Yeah, they're trying to kill them. They're pretty freaking malicious, and the chimera ants don't just instantly crumble. Like, they obviously have to make contact. They have to physically exert themselves. So it doesn't really work like that.
So because fucking Pokel didn't Nen Crush Chimera Ants, you're arguing Ahsoka, who has literally used Nen Crush on screen against Gon and Killua, you're arguing that wouldn't work against Maki? What? What the hell do you mean it doesn't work like that? I've shown an explicit statement that it destroys the mind, an explicit feat of Ahsoka paralyzing its victims and potentially being able to kill them with Nen Crush. A far weaker Nen user like Pokel not using Nen Crush literally means nothing to Ahsoka, who has. Oh, Jesus. Last I checked, Maki is fighting Ahsoka, so please stay on topic, sir. Show mental resistance feats for Maki to deal with Ahsoka's Nen Crush. Please.
Whatever is covered in the cloth until it can fit within his palm. Maki has no resistance to this. And once at that size, she is literally food. Win condition right there. And he has all of his other...
Okay, well,
to
could
distract
she
Maki
cut
or
the
immobilize
cloth?
him
How does the
if
cloth
need be, although,
work?
like I said, Krollo would already...
I mean, yeah, she could, but she's too slow and has to deal with the rest of the troop on top of Krollo. Also, peep how they just ignored Shaunok and Krollo's black voice. They didn't have any answer for that. Like, I called them out on ignoring abilities in my debunk. They're playing through my video and they're still ignoring ability. You just can't make this up.
0.1 milligrams of it can paralyze an entire
Wait,
wall. Maki
wait,
has
what are his
no
hand-to-hand
resistance
feats? Does
to
he
this.
even
If
fight
Krollo
her in
even
skill?
scratches her, the fight is over. Again,
He
I
could
don't know why this was
probably-
ignored.
I don't
What is
think
the point of
he's
making a
better than
Xanadu video
Maki.
if
Okay, so no poison resistance for Maki as expected. The rebuttal here is what? Chrollo isn't skilled? This doesn't matter because not only is Chrollo tiers and tiers faster, but Chrollo has the numbers advantage over Maki. This isn't a 1v1. And all Chrollo needs to do is slash her with the knife and the toxin is paralyzing her. So obviously this isn't a valid rebuttal. I'm not going to talk about that with the guys.
He
I mean, it's like, is he tagging her? Is he damaging her?
Well, no, he's saying like if the knife nicks her with the poison, she could die from it.
How does something so simple even have to be explained to y'all? What? Your homie is carrying this shit. You better be compensating this. Fiction, I know I sent you that $10, but you need to slide him a good portion, like $4, $3, because he coming over here. He saying y'all straight. Cause I mean, I don't know. Without him, without this dude, you guys would just be lost. Respectfully, dog.
That doesn't.
Bro,
what is this? Has nothing to do with a fucking battle scenario.
So let me get this straight. When the Troupe is under Chrollo's leadership, they can execute layered strategies that fool and checkmate canonical geniuses and prodigies. But you expect me to believe that in a fight under Chrollo, the Troupe will suddenly not move as a unit and not even employ the most basic intuitive strategy of using their numbers to their advantage? Because as a reminder, Fiction was arguing that the Troupe, with Chrollo there, would just watch each other fight, not fight together, not show teamwork, etc., etc., etc.
Gonna be like, all right, we outnumber this person. All right, let's just, fight them one.
Yeah, they've never done that before.
They've never done that with Chrollo, the leader of the damn Troupe. That is the whole point. Why are you judging the Troupe's synergy and teamwork and strategy in battle when their leader and strategist was nowhere to be found? It's so stupid.
Should debate though.
But why do they steal?
Go up.
They're not gonna do that.
Hey, well, to end this off, I am absolutely down to VC debate this. Both of you at the same time. Heck, everyone in the stream against me. It's fine. It's fine with me. I'll do it by myself. We could run it. I didn't think y'all would do it because it's high risk, low reward. But if y'all really down, I respect that for sure. Like, I really do respect that. And we could definitely set that up. Just give me days, give me times. We could definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna make my own Discord account. We could get some popping. I wanted to get this video up first because I really just wanted to document the backtracking concessions y'all were making that I know would be lost in translation during like a live debate. But I'm for sure down to debate to debate the entire crew, like Drake 1v20. Well, Drake. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but you feel the energy there. Like, yeah, I'll definitely do that shit on my dolo. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Ty and Fiction, it is still no disrespect. Still no disrespect, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against y'all personally. But yeah, I mean, I'm also the type of person, if I see something stupid, if I see a stupid argument, I'm gonna call it stupid, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And y'all taking it farther than me. You trying to like make fun of, you trying to clown the way I talk and shit, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I'm not like offended by it, I can take a joke. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But just lose like the whole narrative of like, oh, he's so mean, he's a bully, cause like, bro, your chat was throwing all types of shit, all types of shots. And then at the end of the video, one of your friends was like, oh, he threatens new content. Y'all are going way beyond the realm of the video. Like, all I'm saying is that your arguments are dumb. Like if you really think about it, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the debunk. I mean, part of me was like, do I really have to do this? Because everybody with a working brain knows that they didn't debunk anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because when I dropped my debunk, people was in it. It was apparently in their comments and they said like, oh, you just got debunked. You just got debunked. Like, it's not like people going to my video now being like, oh damn, they debunked. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, dog. We know what it is. We know what it is. But like I said, I'm too competitive, so I just got this video out. I got other videos on the way. But yeah, easy out, bro.